Martin, a huge win for us, 3-1 in the end. Would you make of that performance today?
There was a lot of nervousness coming into the game. The fans haven't been looking forward to this fixture at all. I think go back to 2006 since the last victory. Last 5 appearances here we've, I think, drawn 3 and lost 2. So a lot of the fans were really nervous coming into the game. And then pre-match, a few raised eyebrows with the team selection as well. But the changes definitely made a difference. You know, the guys that came in and the starting 11 were superb today. And just I couldn't be happier. It was massive. I mean, we said don't play on a Thursday night, we'll get the advantage, but it hasn't worked out that way so far. And then, you know, Rangers getting that late goal yesterday, so there was even more pressure on us today just to get the result. But I genuinely came into today's fixture thinking this is a team that aren't used to playing here. They got a bit of practice yesterday as well on that surface, and I genuinely felt good. I thought, you know, slipped up against Hibs last week. I didn't imagine it would happen 2 weeks in the trot, so came in expecting a victory, and it was a very, very well earned victory. I think 24 shots, 72% possession. Just a really dominant victory and a real feel good factor at the end of the game.
Aside from all the stuff about the hoodoo here, I thought the performance just in isolation was brilliant today. Much more like ourselves. The intensity with and without the ball was there again. I think we've had a wee bit of a dip in recent weeks, but today we look back to our normal selves. And the big thing, as I said yesterday in the build up to this game, is you need to win the tackles and win the second balls, and I thought we did that in the first half.
I spoke a little bit about this during the week, Paul. I think just psychologically when you go into games like this, you think Livingston, you know, a club that's not, you know, no disrespect to Livingston whatsoever. I think them and Celtic are the 2 informed teams just now since the break. They're the 2 teams with the best record that have amassed the most points, sitting in 4th in the league table. So no disrespect to them whatsoever. But I think sometimes psychologically you're not playing an Aberdeen, you know, a Dundee United, a Hibs, a Hearts, a Rangers. You're playing Livingston, and I think sometimes the players can come into these games with the wrong attitude, and they don't win the second ball. That, you know, they're a yard short. The other team are trying, you know, so much because they want to try and keep the score down. So they're trying twice as hard and you're trying half as hard. So, and it's never ever intentional. It's just sometimes the players go in with the wrong attitude. But today that wasn't the case. They were all up for it. They were fighting hard for each other. They were winning the second ball. They were retaining possession. They were focused. And if you come into games like this with that attitude and with those attributes, Celtic should win 100 times at 100, really. And that was the case today. You know, I felt from start to finish, although Livingston were unfortunate, a couple of decisions that were made were dubious, and you know, they did have the huffed and puffed. But I think the overall performance today was dominant. Celtic more than earned that 3-1 victory. In fact, you couldn't have argued if it was more emphatic.
Yeah, so important for us to keep our heads after the penalty miss as well, because given the record here, you think, oh no again. But went right at it. McGregor's another chance about 30 seconds later, and then we get the goal a few minutes later, so that really settled us down.
For me, the thing that was massive today was getting a goal in the first half, or certainly getting the first goal at any stage, but getting a goal in the first half, just to settle the nerves. Because you know, there was a little bit of concern that today could have been another 0-0. You know, Livingston just fight for their lives and we don't get the break, and of course we still don't have our talisman up front. We've got Maida up front, and you know, he's working really, really hard, but things aren't quite coming off for him. I think a lot of people expected Giakoumakis to start, and he didn't, so we didn't have that physicality up front. So you're thinking, just get us a goal, get us the first goal, and ideally in the first half, and we got all of that, didn't we? Albeit we missed the penalty. You're thinking, oh, please don't tell me, but we got a goal, we went ahead, and it was in the first half, so we couldn't ask for any more, really.
Another one down, 8 to go. Ross County at home, next one game at a time, innit?
It is one game at a time, and you can't help but look forward. You can't help but look and say, oh, who we might get, who we maybe get in the split, and of course that's so difficult to determine because that middle of the table is so tight. We do know who we've got in the next 3 games. We've got 2 home games. We've got Ross County, St Johnstone, and of course Rangers away. Rangers away game will take care of itself, and I'm really looking forward to it. But the 2 games at home, you would expect we would win both of those comfortably. I think that's now 8 games to go, and 5 of those will be at home, 3 away. So it's all going for us. I predicted a few weeks ago we'd win the league with 10 points, and I still believe we will.
Can you pick a man of the match for us today? A lot of good performances across the pitch.
It was a great team performance, but I would give it to Jota today. There's a few of our top players have had a bit of stick the last few weeks, and I think it's totally over the top. Generally do. Abada's had a bit of kick in, and Jota and Forrest is expected to come back after a long-term injury and be brilliant again overnight. Almost everybody's had a kick in actually after a couple of performances that weren't great, Jota included, but I thought he was really, really good today, and you know, we're just on such a great run now. I think that's 24 since the last time we were here, and we suffered defeat, 20 victories and 4 draws, so overall the team deserve great praise, but yep, Jota for me today.